Hello, welcome to day 846 of Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day. I'm Green Case, and we are going to get this over with because I'm hungry, like actually hungry for like protein and sustenance. So we're just gonna we're gonna eat our vegetables so I can have my dessert, which is my normal lunch. So, or actually dinner. Yeah, we're basically at dinner. Where's the real threshold for lunch and dinner? I mean, people say that dinner is like 6 to 8, but if you have something at 4:30, right? I mean, by the time the wings are ready, it'll be actually it takes an hour and a half to make the fucking. I'm gonna be so hungry by the time those come out. It's gonna be basically 6. That's dinner. But imagine if I hypothetically ate, say, food at like 4:45. Would that be lunch or dinner? Don't be a smart ass and call it dinner. All right. No cheating. Because, I mean, there's just 3 meals in a day. Because, I mean, it's like genders, right? There's just 3 meals. When people start doing dinner, and brunch was already fucking pushing it. But, I mean, we've gone so far past that threshold. We're only doing brunch because a bunch of lazy asses refuse to, like, wake up early enough in the morning to have dunch. What about, what if you have, like, a midnight snack, right? That's breakfast and dinner. Dinner. Or dunch. Or not dunch. What the fuck? That's your thing. Dinner deckfist, right? Deckfist. If you have a midnight snack or you're like extremely dehydrated, right? Because you've been drinking nothing but Pepsi and sand for the last like 3 years and you're just really thirsty in the middle of the night. So you go up, get a drink of water, some old moldy carrot at the bottom of your fridge. Oh, fuck, that's so good. At like 1 in the morning. That is dick fist, all right? Breakfast and dinner, dick fist. Uncle Samsonite web series. Yeah, he just said it. Afternoon is 12 to 5. Yeah, well, who made that rule up? If I look this up on Wikipedia, will we find it? Or did you just like Google it and that's where you found it? I don't know, man. To me, it's so goddamn arbitrary. Like, we know concretely that the afternoon is, of course, like 1 to 5. But, like, that's noon. Okay, actually, yeah, you're right. But afternoon, okay, evening, that's when the sun goes down. Okay, dodoy. Yeah, it's when the sun goes down. But then, I mean, things get weird in kind of like the 5 to 6 pocket, right? I mean, and then daylight savings obviously exists because it's never consistent. It's constantly changing. So I'm in Iceland right now. Yeah, there is no, like, imagine going all the way up, right, to one of the poles where the sun always is up or is always down, or I don't know how the fuck geography works, but you know what I'm talking about. Then does anything matter, right? That's what I learned when I was in the military. Oh yeah, I forgot you're in the military. You're just trying to. It's 11:40 a.m. Okay, I see. Yeah, we can make that your new catchphrase. I'm like, I feel like part of it might be you saying nonchalant things to bait me into giving you a new catchphrase, but so it's 11:40 a.m. That's pretty iconic. It's kind of like, did I do that? So it's 11:40 a.m. That's iconic right there. We need to put a laugh track behind that. I want to get a soundboard. We're working on some new equipment for like actual proper streaming shit because I want to do a Twitch stream, but the equipment's important. So we're looking into better equipment, including microphones that I'm going to use to record my upcoming videos and possibly streams when I figure all that out. And we're going to get a soundboard. We're going to have a laugh track. So every time Lance H78 says his iconic catchphrase, I will press that button and you'll laugh alongside the canned laughter inside my computer because it's funny. Is that your 5th catchphrase? We should like number it. Oh, my score for the day. I'm really, really hungry. So I'm like physically deprived. Mentally, I'm a lot better than before because I was able to do shit today. Went to school, did that doctor's appointment thing. I'm reworking this whole work thing. The work thing, that's a big wart on this mostly undimpled ass. This ass is perfect and smooth except for this one thing, this one problem, which is it's my work situation. They say that, you know, unless the doctor's recommendation note changes, which according to the doctor today is not happening, I can't consistently come back to make my money. And I kind of need that. So like, I'm actually looking into jobs that involve less physical labor and more talking. And we're thinking about being a bank teller. That'd be pretty cool. So they'll probably look into me, find this stream and see that I'm just so damn good and professional and reputable within the paper reading industry. They'll be honored to have me behind their fiberglass windows. Eating paper stream upgrade. Yeah, I'll do it in the middle of the bank. Sir, you want that in tens or $100 bills? Welcome to eating a sheet of paper a day. There's no paper around me. I guess I'll have to eat this man's 100. That'll start a riot. Also, inside $100 bills, there are those little blue plastic strips, right? That's not plastic. It's like expensive government material. It's made out of like, it's made out of Bill Clinton's fingernails or something. Something government related. A long time ago, you'd have to search on my thumbnails for this. This was a long time. It's like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And because my numbering of my days are very inconsistent because I would have breaks, you should probably look in the 2 to 3, maybe even 400 range. But I had a dare with somebody at Pizza Port, and I believe I lost. Wait, no. The bet was for me to eat the $1 bill. And if I ate the $1 bill on stream and had video proof, he would come back and give me a $5 bill, which I wouldn't eat. I would spend it on actual edible shit for me to eat, like Doritos. but I think I don't think he understood that like I've been doing this for years, and I did it, showed the video, and he went, "Ah, shit, all right," and he gave it to me. I mean, I think he was also partially in disbelief that I ate a dollar bill. It was hard, by the way. It does not absorb saliva like this stuff does. So, best pizza at Pizza Port. You got to switch out the normal sauce for marinara sauce, all right? It doesn't come from a can. It's not toothpaste consistency. Most importantly, does not taste like shit. And then you got to combine that with a mix of fresh mozzarella and kind of canned mozzarella, the normal mozzarella, right? A little something old, a little something new, something borrowed, and something blue. There's nothing blue in there. No blue cheese, normal mozzarella cheese. Got to put all the seasoning in there. The important thing that people fuck up is that the seasoning ends up being just green sand, maybe mildly aromatic green sand. It has no flavor unless you scrunch it between your fingers. You got to pinch the thyme, the oregano, and even the basil. All that stuff needs to be crushed because these are plants. They contain oils, and if you bake the oils, like if the oils aren't out or extracted or in the air before the cooking happens, the taste is completely different. It's alien to what it would be if you crushed it before, get the oils out. That's how spices work. That's why you do the thing. So that when it cooks, there's a whole other process. It's been scientifically tested by the Romans years ago. This is why people put spices on shit. Pizza Port doesn't understand that. They're lazy. They just sprinkle it with a little shaker. We don't do it like that. Am I going to be eating construction paper? Thank you for the combo comment. It's the compound comment from both Matey and Lance. I don't know. I feel like it depends. Like even if we were to use the most ethically sourced organic stuff, whenever they color the paper, they have to grind it up into pulp, and whenever they recombine it, it's not the quality of the paper. It's a little more grainy. You know, even if we're talking about toxic-free or toxin-free ways of coloring the paper, which they exist. I remember in preschool we did have the paper, but actually one thing that Miss Roland Hagen, is she was my preschool teacher, a thing that she did is she had this weird paper making class, I guess, where you would make a paper smoothie. And what's so funny is my mom would make smoothies out of like blueberries and such. So it'd be purple. We were making purple paper. And I remember it looked exactly like my mother's blueberry smoothie. But we would grind up the paper and then we'd put it into a pulp, make it wet, and then, put the purple dye or whatever it was. We put the purple 40 in there. And it looked so food-like. It made me hungry, actually. I started salivating. But we took it out, and then you lay it all down. You, put it in a paper mold where you just lay it out flat. You get rid of one of the dimensions, make it a two-dimensional sheet of that liquid colored shit, and then it solidifies. It gets really grainy if you do that. And even with construction paper you find at Michael's, there's a slight graininess that you just don't find here. This is the purity of paper I'm looking for. So that's my long form answer to, will I do construction paper? Maybe, probably not. But if someone's willing to Venmo me in order to do it, maybe. You get to choose the color if you actually give me money. I'll have to make the parameters like $10 or more. You get to decide how many sheets I eat. Actually, that's fucked up. You'll type in a triple digit number and I'll die, but that's not worth $11. What paper tastes the closest to actual food? This is why I keep eating it, right? Very subtle taste. Sometimes it's a little sweet. The paper today, because I'm having it with root beer, has more of a sweet property, but it also has that kind of gamey, bitter taste to it. I remind you of a video. No. What I just said reminded you of the video. Miss Roland Hagen's preschool class with paper making reminds you of that video. Homework sheets and cooked it in eggs, lol. Yes. I think he does that every video. I haven't watched it recently, but I think he incorporates eggs, grinding shit up, and then taking a big shit on it. Oh, and baby dolls. He had his baby doll phase in 2016. My personal favorite. His stuff now, it's so heavily edited and fast paced. He kind of, and then his old stuff, his very first stuff, it's just like, how to put a condom on. Then he just throws an egg at the condom. I feel like that was too one note, too slow. So two complete opposite ends of the spectrum. The perfect middle ground was in 2016 when he was doing shit with baby dolls and throwing it in. It was perfectly paced, well edited. It wasn't like TikTok brain rot edit. It's not edited like a Mr. Beast video. It's like a cut every frame. Will you eat your homework for a stream? I already actually did that. I believe in day... it's in the 100. This is way back in 2021. If you go back to day like 150 something, you'll find me eating my homework. Tasted like shit. A condom is very self-explanatory. Well, I mean, you'd still have some people who don't know, I mean, you claim to use it. You'd have to post your own YouTube tutorial of you demonstrating your usage. Footage or it didn't happen. Am I excited for Baby Invasion? Dude, marked it on my calendar. I'm going to actually mark it twice on my calendar right now. Hey, Siri, what is Baby Invasion?
Here's info about Baby Invasion.
Oh, Harmony. Yeah, this guy. Okay, cool. Sorry I interrupted you, Siri. I guarantee you Cinepolis is not going to have it, so we won't be able to easily incorporate it into our new movie Tuesdays, but we'll figure a way. I might convince them. Or maybe I could just steal their setup and use one of the HDMI cables, connect my computer, torrent a copy. That could work. But am I excited? I mean, now I am. Oh, did I even put my score for the day? I did not. Great. I was talking about it, didn't do it. Sorry. It's mainly just because I'm so hungry and this work thing's a pain in my ass, but this is not that bad of a day. We're doing okay. Trailer dropped. I'm just waiting for the trailer for Eddington. There's like a random screenshot of one scene of Joaquin Phoenix in a cowboy hat. I'm just looking forward to Eddington and One Battle After Another. That Paul Thomas Anderson thing. Yeah, it's not out. First thing you see is the complex individual unveiling Eddington. What the fuck is there to unveil? This was a year ago. Movie was like 1/3 made at that point. People anticipate too much. Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. This tie is a dark green. Okay, so let's see. Matey, you have green in your thing. Lance, I think you have a little. Yeah, there's like a little. Actually, no, that's not. That's like light gray. So none of you fuckers have green. I owe you all an internet pinch. All right. Times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 internet pinches. All right. They'll be marked with a period. There you go. That's my internet pinch for each of you. That's what you get. Have I seen the live action Lilo and Stitch trailer? I have not watched it either. I'm avoiding that stuff. It just severely depresses me. Every single time I see one of those live action remakes, I'm like, I know it's going to make a bunch of money. It's going to be a creative bomb, but a financial success, which really makes me sad. I mean, I don't know what to say about stuff like that hasn't already been said. No one likes it, but people are still going to see it. Just stop seeing it in theaters. I think YMS said a really smart thing about the Minecraft movie, where it's like, it'd be really tempting to have a good time with your friends to watch it, but it'd be even funnier and also better for the industry to not watch it, not pay money to see it in the theaters, torrent a copy illegally, and then project it at home. So think about that one, because if you see it in the theaters, you're openly funding and positively reinforcing bad art. And obviously, it's like extracting a drop of water from the ocean, right? It's like, oh, if I don't go, it won't make any difference. I want to have a good time. Why not? But if you make it a general habit and continue to reinforce it, you'd be surprised the change that can be made. I'm going to make my best efforts not to, truly and honestly. Like, yes, obviously there's going to be bad movies, but if we know a movie is going to be bad and the marketing is very obviously for it to be bad, then like I'm totally going to illegally, I'm going to do what do they call it? A piñata copy. I'll do that. because I just really the extra pixels and the 4K quality will not be in service of anything good. I'd rather see a 4K version of a good movie. And plus, if everybody knows it's going to be bad, it's like the FNAF movie. It's like when people walk in, no, it's going to be a terrible experience. In fact, it's worse in a theater, arguably. Like you're having a good time, unless you're there to just chat with your friends while watching a movie. You can do that anywhere, But if you're in there and you're actually trying to watch the movie, it'll be filled to the brim with a bunch of other assholes who don't care about the movie because it's obviously bad. So, there is nothing about that experience that would make you actually want to go into the theater and pay these fuckers money directly. It is in everyone's best interest for you to illegally torrent a copy of these shitty movies. But of course, because people are lazy and stupid, no one's going to do that. So, my recommendation, don't be fooled by thinking the theater-going experience is going to be good, because it's not. Everything about it's going to be worse. So, don't do it. Watch a movie like Beau is Afraid in theaters. Like that was a unique experience. That was one of the craziest theater-going experiences ever. Ian, ask Caden about it. I have reflected more and more positively upon that experience. The opportunity to catch an experience like that with a good number of people, half of which walked out by the halfway point because of how batshit insane that movie was. Oh man, that will never be replicated. People make a big deal out of Oppenheimer and Barbie and whatnot. That was generic. That was nothing compared to the Beau is Afraid theater-going experience. I'm serious, Ian. If you're still here, just ask Caden about it. It was one of the best experiences in the theater ever. Your dad hated. Why would your dad watch Beau is Afraid without you, man? You're the film buff. All right, well, I recommend it. How many times has Caden recommended that movie to you? Like 1,200? Because I'm totally going to agree with him. Like, please, please, please watch it. It's such a funny movie. Underrated masterpiece. It's like, I know it's got a 3.4 in Letterboxd. That score is bullshit. Like, it's stuff like that makes me realize how little of an actual marker of quality some of this stuff is. It's just anti-recency bias, right? It's just people hating on it because it's new. If this was a movie from like the 80s or the 90s, dude, it would have a 4.3 or a 4.4. BS score. Yeah, you fucking get it. You understand. They should pull Snow White, but they already spent $200 million on it. So, of course, they're going to make their money back because they're a stupid fucking company. And in every single new project, it's just a new dent in the what has been made of art of the last good number of decades. It's like people were working to at least restore some integrity to the medium of cinema, and they wonder why it's dying. It's like short-term profits, but people are like, okay, this is what's popular, and yes, we are complacent, so we just sat on our asses and paid our tickets to watch Snow White 3, a live-action remake starring Donald Glover. And then they wonder why actual creativity in cinema is dead and people are just reverting to TikTok videos. Like, come on. It's all right in front of us. It's all very obviously happening for very obvious reasons, but nobody wants to actually take the initiative to do anything about it because that would involve, I don't know, creativity and effort. Bunch of fucking bullshits. I saw the TV Glow, and then on the other hand of things, you see movies like what Osgood Perkins is doing with Longlegs, and then I saw the TV Glow, which I liked. We're All Going to the World's Fair. I liked that movie. I saw the TV Glow. I remember I gave that a 4 out of 10. I thought it was stupid. I thought visually it was interesting. Like this lady / guy, he / she or whatever, knows how to make great visuals. All right. Jane Schoenbrunn knows how to, or I don't know how to pronounce that name, German probably, but visuals are great. However, the story is so bad. It is impossible to, like, I don't care about any of the characters. They make the main character the most unrelatable thing, and not in a cool, like, Rupert Pumpkin, like, oh, I'm still interested in his journey, right? You have a character that's impossible to self-insert into, like Rupert Pumpkin, but you're so just interested in what the fuck is going to happen of this guy because his journey is so interesting. But I mean, I saw the TV, I don't even remember his name. And I really think that a 3.5 is a little too high. That movie was really bad. In fact, that was a very generous 4. I did not like that movie. The movie was not good. Who the fuck is giving it like 9 or like 4.5 to 5 stars out of 10? Shit is criminal. And I don't give a fuck about the representation thing. You guys need better. Like, if you believe that trans people need good representation, which I think because the existence of the trans community is rooted in mental health crises being enabled further, That's debatable, but let's just say that we should give trans people the best representation possible. This is terrible representation. Terrible movie. You know, they still have lives. They deserve a better movie than this. The character, you know, it's made by no, it's a trans. Actually, I don't even know what the deal with Owen is, right? But the director's trans. Whatever. That's the representation. But I mean, someone who knows how to direct an interesting, like I thought we're all going to the World's Fair was not a masterpiece in writing, but it was way better written than this. It's just intentionally cryptic. It's the most annoying fake deep movie I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Owen, the main character Owen, and then his whole weird thing with Maddie, like that just doesn't. None of it feels real. Nobody talks like a real person. Not that they have to, but the way it's presented in this movie, there is no hook. I just don't care. There's some artsy fartsy things going on. There's some cool visuals, and all of that is done creatively. It's not like there's just a formula to the visuals. Like each shot that looks good is done because of very clearly some ability that the director has. And I can appreciate that. Maybe that's why I've made it a 4 now that I think about it. But if the movie is written like shit, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to come back to it ever. Same thing. This is what I said for Mickey 17. It's well directed. Every puzzle piece is perfectly polished and fits together well, except for the writing. You know, and the reason why Mickey 17 is written badly and why I Saw the TV Glow is written badly are two completely different reasons. I just think that the writing in I Saw the TV Glow is very fake deep, not interesting. Like, if you want things to be metaphorical or cryptic, that's fine, but don't make it a replacement for the story. Because there is no real story here. I mean, you're seeing events happen, but there's the characters and their identities are so non-existent, and there's so little investment to be had that it just feels like I'm just watching shit randomly happen, and I don't care about any of it. And I can't, and it's not just a personal preference thing. I personally don't understand how anybody can even be invested in anything that's going on. I think that a lot of the positive ratings are people who are obsessed about political representation for trans people, which boo-hoo, that's unfortunate. 2, people who just are really, really pro-aesthetic and do not understand what good writing is. And apparently these people exist in hives because the amount of positive reviews for this movie, despite it being written like a complete ass and having no hook whatsoever, is flooring to me. The movie has literally nothing. The movie is written like shit, and people are still giving it so much acclaim because it looks good. Well, okay, just say it's a bunch of colorful flashing lights. Jingle the keys in front of our faces, please, Jane. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Didn't think it was perfect, though. I didn't hate the story that much. It was just weirdly paced at times. At times? I mean, pacing's based off investment. If you care, then you'll notice the fluctuation of the story. For me, because I was just waiting for the movie to be over, I'm like, okay, it looks cool. I like the colors. I think the shots are interesting. Like, he's watching this cursed evil TV show, and this brain dead girl who's very like on drugs or something is explaining to him what the show is and why it's evil. The way that's presented, there is no mystique to it. There is no mystique. I don't care about the show. And I know the way the movie's presented, it's already a weird surrealist thing, like the world, like that scene in the voting booth, like all that shit, nothing feels real. So it's like the impact of that TV show being weird, like it doesn't feel out of place at all. None of it actually feels like we're building up. It already starts in a surreal place, which got me interested for maybe 5 minutes, and then the entire show is them slowly going about this business of discussing this TV show that's supposedly super crazy and fucking mysterious, and it's probably a metaphor for something. But at that point, his whole journey, and I knew the whole movie because, I mean, it's called I Saw the TV Glow, and it turned out that it was going to be singularly about that whole TV show thing. They were going to be solely focusing on this guy's relationship with the show and the things kind of associated with the show, none of which I cared about. Because the show is presented as this crazy, weird, mysterious thing. It's like a horror movie, right? This movie is classified as a horror movie, right? That's not what happens. I can't believe you remember anything about the movie, but whatever you explained to me actually happened in the movie, none of that changes my point. There's a story, a piece of the thing within the story, the movie, and I was paying pretty heavy attention, God forbid. And this TV show is presented as this thing. And when the TV show is presented as this thing, I don't care. It is shocking how immediately upon impact, how little I cared about what was happening in this movie. And that's really a skill issue. Like, this is not even a me thing. Like, it was so insane how little investment there was. Like, I understand if someone watches it and enjoys it. I'm not denying that enjoyment, but there's a certain point where it's like, where is the hook? And then you could go, well, there doesn't need to be a hook if you got colorful visuals and an aesthetic and a deep metaphorical meaning behind it all. And I'm like, yeah, but if I don't care about the characters and I don't really care about the plot and the world is so surreal that like the existence of this show is not seen as shocking, or it's seen as shocking within the movie, but I don't see it as shocking. It's like, what value is there within the movie? Aesthetic value? Sure. But that's about it. Because I don't think you can actually objectively point to anything in the movie that's well written or invests you. You could say you personally were invested without explanation. I probably believe that, but I mean, there is no denying how the movie is written in a particular way where there is no like I'm not going to remember Owen as even a top 150 movie protagonists of the decade so far. Like even if I'm taking the last 5 years and going, okay, what are the most memorable movie protagonists? We're not even dealing with that many movies here. Owen's landing nowhere on that list. I feel like an interesting character, at least one, is important. If none of your characters are interesting, oh boy, that's like half of the movie that's out of there, out of fucking town, right? And I mean, you could have some old 1960s French cinema. You could even have like a movie like Playtime, right? Playtime, it presents an interesting world, right? Okay, let's look at the world building here. None of it feels real. A lot of it just feels like a bunch of candy-coated visuals. It's not terrible world building, but nothing about it is that unique to really hook me. So the characters are atrocious. However, the world building's not atrocious, but nothing there is hooking me. So there is no it's not a Playtime situation, right? Playtime, Jacques Tati, that's a good movie. There are no outstanding characters, but you're seeing kind of realistic depictions of kind of goofy characters in maybe like an Inspector Clouseau slapstick film, put in a really interesting, colorful world filled with details. Filled with details. That is when the scale gets tipped. And you can't pull a scale tipping like that without a good amount of directing skill and writing skill. Like you need to write and what's going to be in this world, how it operates, how people behave. The way Playtime works, it works really well, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion, but it really doesn't feel like it is because the movie is just so objectively bad in its writing. But again, I want to preface this by saying this is generally my opinion, but I Saw the TV Glow has nothing to compensate for that. There's just general aesthetics that are pulled off fine, because that's what aesthetics are. I don't respect that in filmmaking. That's not cinema. I'm going to say it's art. It's artful, but it's not good. I mean, it's just not good cinema. It's cinema, I guess. Just not good cinema. But anyways, 4 out of 10. Not seeing it again. The movie is way more universal and not virtue signaling. Oh, I trust you, Ian. It doesn't really matter though. I mean, for a movie that's trying to be so universally appealing, you're saying like universal as in just nothing's being virtue signaled here. Everything's quite straightforward. Nothing felt straightforward to me. Felt like they were speaking extremely like they were talking about the show, but if the show is just its own thing and it's supposed to be, it's not metaphorical. It's just absurdist. It's just surreal and absurd. Yeah, that's in order for a movie like Mulholland Drive, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I mean, you care about the main character. She's not even an outstanding main character, but again, she steps into a world that is built very well. You know, you have the Justin Theroux character. You have this mysterious situation she gets thrown in. The way David Lynch paces that's interesting. With this, it's just slow. Oh, you're seeing him as a kid, and then he gets exposed to the shit, and that could be interesting. But the way it's presented is something anybody could relate to. You relate to I Saw the TV Glow. I always knew you were an unusual kid, Ian, but it is a like extraordinarily unrelatable movie. I'm not exactly sure how, if you're saying that it's straightforward or universal. Okay, so if we're taking it a little more literally, so okay, how can I relate to the story of I saw the TV glow. You tell me that. Maybe you'll tell me about a scenario in which you're like going straightforward. Universal then. Well, okay. I just don't see the relate. Maybe it's because I live a different life and I can't relate to it. But I mean, there's tons of things that I can't relate. Just needing to relate directly in life to something, that doesn't mean that the movie should be bad through my eyes. To me, regardless of whether or not I'm relating to it or not, it's like there's a difference between directly relating to somebody, to a character, and actually being invested in a story. To get someone to invest themselves in a story, it's really not that difficult. You don't need to be rolling the dice on what life people are living. A lot, like the majority of movies that I would consider great, could appeal to anybody, regardless of who they are. The story is just interesting. It establishes stakes and it paces itself properly. You don't need to be a generic movie, but there's movies of all different colors, shapes, and sizes. Experimental movies that tell the story backwards, like Memento. Movies that tell the movie in fragments. Like every other Tarantino film out there. You don't need to be generic. I'm not saying that there's like a specific cookie cutter formula, but I mean this movie, it just didn't succeed on all fronts. Oh, I see. Okay, you could have just said the trans part earlier, then I would have get that, or I would have gotten that. But yeah, no, I get that. I mean, a lot of reasons why. I mean, when I'm seeing letterbox reviews, is people talking about being trans and how the movie was very powerful for them, and that's because the director is trans. Because it's insane to people that I guess trans people can make a movie. It's like anybody can make a movie. Talent exists in all shapes, sizes, and forms. Be it a man or a man in disguise, it doesn't matter. Everybody's talented. Jane Schoenbrun's a talented person. Why is that like such a mind-blowing thing? That doesn't mean that the movie's good, though. She's talented. She knows how to make great visuals and aesthetics, and she made We're All Going to the World's Fair, which I would give a 7. I would give that a 6 out of 10, actually. I'd probably have to rewatch it. It probably will hit a lot less. But, I mean, yeah, We're All Going to the World's Fair showed that Jane is good at making a movie, or at least a short film. That was a short film. I don't know what happened with the writing on this one, but it was like a 10-point downgrade right there. I should watch Oddsack. That is not a Jane Schoenbrun thing. I'll look that up, but yeah. But yeah, movie wasn't that good. I would say it's pretty bad. Good visuals, okay aesthetics, bad world building, horrific characters, no investment, terrible pacing, bad movie. All right. Half an hour stream. I mean, this is what we do every time. I can't think of a stream I've done recently that's shorter than 20 minutes, but okay, wait. Last piece. 3, 2, 1. The stream would have been shorter, but Ian, y'all got me started on I saw the TV glow. Huge disappointment. I really thought it was going to be something, but it was nothing. Actually, Mickey 17 was a bigger disappointment. That movie stank. Again, 3.7 is way too high for that fucking movie. We're going to watch Black Bag tomorrow. I will release my review for that in text form, and possibly I might do like video yapping about shit. Because I have this new green screen background thing I discovered on accident, so I can just do that. Yeah, all that's going to be out on my Instagram, so I'll give my thoughts. No one's talking about Black Bag. I guess no one cares about Steven Soderbergh anymore, but he can make a good spy movie, unlike Matthew Vaughn. He fucked up with Argyle. Again, we're just stacking up on knowledge about movies, because my next good content video is going to be ranking every single movie from last year. I missed like 5, but I'll just put that in the beginning of the video. All right. Thank you all for, coming to this stream. I'll see you tomorrow on day 847. Thank you, Mesathula, Matey, Lance H78, Momo, yes, Picasso 7676, Ian 30, and Plastic Knife. Thank you for enjoying my tie. Did I respond to that before? He's probably gone now. But yeah, thanks for enjoying my tie. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye, and I'm glad you liked my tie. All right, goodbye.